Alright, well, welcome to the first video of what's hopefully going to be many. I'm showing you this first because this is the first thing that we found on the site. Kind of was random, but I'll go into more of that in detail later on. But it's broken. I believe they still used it after it broke because this is kind of worn or polished smooth, and it wasn't found in a creek. It was dug at a site that, unless they broke it and then someone found it, brought it back to the site or something. I'm not sure, but anyways, it's actually the first axe I ever found. But actually well, it's a funny story. I'll tell you more about it later. But this is some of the other stuff we found at the site. This pile of flint here was just like this. All these 6 pieces in the ground, stacked up in a pile. There's a little cache of creek pebbles. All this stuff from the site, it's a mid-archaic, late archaic possibly, but site is all creek pebble, chert and flints, and we're in western New York, so we get a lot of the really archaic. So this is my favorite thing so far, and we found this, threw it in the sifter, and saw the pit. And my buddy Eric, who you'll see here probably tomorrow, saw it first. I flipped it over, and sure enough, there was another pit. You know, it's hard to videotape these things, but there's another pit on the other side. Well, we set it aside. We knew it was a little hammerstone. Didn't realize the significance of it until we washed it off. We both started flint knapping this year, seriously. So, unbelievably, we found a flint knapping tool, and this is polished smooth here for your finger, and polished smooth here, minus this part that's been rubbed on, which I don't really understand. But this is smooth. Focus. Smooth here, and it fits right here perfectly in the palm of your hand. Thumb here, finger here. It's got this big chunk out of the bottom. You tuck your fingers right behind there, and you have the striking surface. You can see where it's been struck. You can see the line right through here. Sorry about my dirty hands. I've been digging in the dirt for days here. Anyhow, this is really cool. Well, we wash it off, and then we see it's got abraded marks. They braided on it here and here. These aren't from us. And this is the best one here. Right here is where they braided on it. And I don't know if this is something they braided here, or they did something here. This is not from us. This is an ancient scratch here. It was, like I said, it was covered in dirt until we washed it off. But this is probably my favorite thing so far to come out of the hole. Here's a piece of flint that we found in the same layer. There's one occupation layer. This is a piece of flint. You can see the flakes. They took one off here and here. They were trying to get into this to see if there was any workable flint. They gave up for whatever reason. Just probably chunking off on them. It looks like it was junky, it was weathered. And then we just found this. This is what I'm dating the site off of so far. We haven't found any full points or bases, but this is an adze, and this is polished like glass. And this stone is incredible, whatever this is. And it's polished here, and it's beveled. It's a beveled adze, so it's most likely it's polished here on top flat. bevel here, polished, and a bevel here on the side. So it's a beveled Lamoka adze, I'd say. It was broken, more than likely, and they used it as a hammerstone. Hold it just like this, and you can see it's all worked around the edges. The only flat part remaining is right here. Put your finger on from this part up here. The only smooth part left from this polished surface is right here. This has all been banged around. I think this is probably the original back. Probably wasn't polished, but they probably banged stuff against it. That's what it looks like. But the stone is incredible. It's got shiny. It's a real hard stone. It's real dense and heavy. But you can see the shine and flakes in it. So we've gotten that. This has all come out of the site so far. We just started digging out of an 8 by 8 foot hole. Come on, focus. This is the only point piece we found so far. It's a big preform point or something. That's what it looks like. It was probably a big preform, probably broke on them when they were making it. This is the only flint tool we've found so far. It's made out of a creek pebble. The creek ran right next to this site. It's right on the bank of the original creek site, and I'll show you that, but I'll have to do that another day here. But this, we're going to go out there in a minute. Drive out to the site. So we got this here. This is the only tool we found made of flint, other than the point here, but it's made out of a creek pebble, chert, flint. And at first I thought it was a big flake, but you can see they took a flake here, they hit it here, took a flake, hit it here, took a flake, hit it here, took a flake. Man, this camera focus. And they took those flakes off there, and then it looks like they tried to take more flakes, but it stacked up on them. Come on. Focus. See, it stacked up on them there on the edge. And they couldn't get another flake off. But they flipped it over, then they hit it here, right here. And took another big flake. It took a wide flake off here, made an edge. And then they struck it right here. And it took this flake. This flake came off funny. Something in the flint, but took that flake off, and it's a little tool, and it's the whole thing. You can see the flake that was taken off the edge there, and that was the end. It's not broke, so just a little knife, little scraper cutter thing deal, whatever. Found this. I'm not sure what this is. This is the outside of a rock. And looks like it was chipped off, or maybe just something they found, but then they polished the other side. Let's just focus better. There you go. And rounded it off. It's perfect, flat edge around. It goes just like that. I don't know if it's a little toy. So something to keep the little baby busy. I'm not sure what this is, but I know this isn't natural here. It's very strange. Found this flake. It's beautiful material. I hope I find a point out of it. But this piece found, and they actually go together. They hook right together, which is pretty neat. So I put them in there. Alright, let's metal detecting stuff and whatever. Alright, so this is everything out. This has all come out of an 8 by 8 foot hole, by the way. I can get this to focus. Okay. Now, some of this doesn't look like much until you put it together and really look at it. These are the big pieces of flint that we've dug up so far. This one's got two big flakes taken off of it, right here and right here. You can see where they smacked it trying to get into the rock. And here's another big piece that we found. This is all coming out of the same few inch layer, the occupation layer that's there. There's no other occupations that we found, just this one, and that's it. These are all the flakes that we found so far. So we call ourselves the flake pickers, because we pick up every single flake, no matter how small and little it is. I screen the dirt. Some of these are ridiculously small that I've picked up, but they're all flakes, sharp, flakes. And all this pretty much is creek pebbles is all it is. Most of it still has cortex, a lot of cortex stuff. Is just thin. There's a little thin piece there. Cortex on both sides. Here's a flake from a stone tool. Got a few of those. This is another flake from making a stone tool. Where's what I'm looking for here? Some of this material is gorgeous. Where a lot of this stuff. See, this is the outside of a crick pebble, flaked off. It's mostly all this is. All right, so these don't look like much here. We'll take this over to the. This is the base of operation here. I'll take this over to the desk. Alright, so I just stuck these in this case, kind of keep them together, but we found this stone chopper, whatever they used it for. It's big flakes taken off. You can see where it was struck, and there's actually a little bit of secondary chips off of there and there. It's kind of hard to see on the camera. But anyway, fits right in your hand. Little knife. This pendant. It's an orange. Still got some dirt in it, but it's broken. We were pretty excited when we found that, and we just found that. This has all been found the last couple of days, really. This is one of the coolest tools, one of my favorite, other than the napping tools. This Eric found, and if you look here, if you look right here, you can see where it's ground polished. It's polished smooth here. And you can see there, and if you look right here, it's polished right here, right in here, it's all polished right here. Just those two areas. And it's got some marks here, but I think that's just the way the stone broke. But this is definitely polished here and here. Now, that is perfect crescent right here. And the way it was flaked, you can see secondary flakes to sharpen it a little bit. But it was flaked here. And what's cool is I believe it's a spoke shave, hard stone spoke shave, or tool to use. Now I'll show you something. Add a little dirt down here. Mess up my feathers. Great. Alright. So I got my addle here, my dart, and if you look, this spoke shave fits pretty much perfect contact for if you were working on an addle dart. It's about the right size, you know. I know it's man-made. It's hard to tell in video. You guys know, looking at this stuff in person and feeling it, and you know, you can obviously tell. Now we started. I'll show you my trash there. Now we started finding these rocks, and if you look, this one here, it's got flake out of it here. Flaked out here, struck on this side. It's on the left-hand upper corner and the working side of the blade, I call it, which is the flat side. I believe it was pulled towards you or pushed away, but this would have been the sharper side. Is facing down. Is on the left-hand side. If you face it up, the flake is popped up from the back. So like there's another one. And these are all ancient. This is how we dug them. And they're all out of the same layer. And here's another one. And they're just a notch. It's blown out of the corner, and it's not natural. Some of these stones are fairly thick, and the flake is coming right out just in the right spot. Here's one I found. I dug up just like this. Got two notches in it. Here's another one. Garrick found this one too. It's got two flakes taken off the back of it here and here, and then a notch knocked into it. I don't know if they used them for something. I don't know, cordage, something to do with, I don't know. This is another one. You see, this is a fairly thick rock. You know, this isn't floating down the creek and getting banged that hard and flaking off and making a perfect little. Here's another one. And these are all coming out of an 8x8 foot hole. And I've walked creeks and streams my whole life, and rivers, and I've never seen as many flaked in these. Look at this, you know. I mean, and we're finding flakes from these stone flakes there. Also, you know, here's this one here and this one were actually found about this close to each other. And if you lay them like this, you can see the notches. Well, if you line it up so you can see the holes, go back to back like this, you can see they're per se almost exactly the same. You know, I thought I was losing my mind until I realized that this is not a coincidence. So I don't know what they used them for, but pretty neat. So we got that. We got this over here. This is another something tool. It's not blown out of that side. Flake blown out of this side here. A couple of flakes to make it this size. You can see the flakes taken off. Then it was struck on this side just like notching a point out, and flakes were taken off. You know, it was used for something. This has also been knocked off the back here. So and knocked here. So I don't know what they used this for. You know, you never know. Maybe they were given a lesson on notching arrowheads and using it for an example, kind of a blow up. I don't know. Beats me. Lamoka didn't really make notches so much, so I'm not really sure. Here's a couple other pieces. This was found by my brother-in-law. Big piece of flint that was knocked off. They were getting into another big piece, and a couple more notched off in the corner. Tools. Let's see this one. Oh, that was just a big flake off of one. Here's a blade. Doesn't look like anything until you, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but there's a big flake taken off here. A couple, there's a one here, and you can kind of see where they hit it on this side and knocked the flakes off, you know, and it goes, you know, something. They probably used it, you know, who knows. But it's not, it's, you know, just like I did it yesterday, and except for it's got some mineral deposits on it, stuff from being in the ground. So now we're going to head out to the site, make the long journey out there, and show you what we got going on, and I'll see you when we get there. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also found this big grinding stone. It was right in the same layer, and it was sitting up in the ground just like this, sitting right up with this flat side facing down. And if you look at this, I don't know if you see it on the camera, but this is so smooth on the bottom. It's got little like peck marks, like it was pecked, but it's ground just about flat now. I don't know if you can see it. It's some kind of granite rock, but you can see how it's flat here. If I can get it just right, it's just got a tiny bit of curve, just like they were rocking it back, grinding with it, you know, back and forth. You can pick it up with one hand pretty easy, but it's got some weight to it, you know. I don't know how much it weighs, probably 12 pounds or something. But yeah, so that also came off the same 8x8 foot hole. So let's go out and I'll show you let's go to the site and I'll show you what we got going on. So first we're gonna head out to the garage, and it's real late. We're gonna get the tools ready for digging in the morning. We're gonna take them up to the site tonight. I'll take you out and show you the You have to excuse my garage, it's a mess right now. We got a lot of little projects going on. This is my shop. We build all sorts of stuff. So let's see here. We got, well, we don't need the cans of beer. Those are from the other day. We'll grab the lash and the pick. And we'll leave the axe. And then we'll grab the axe and the big shovel. And get ready to go throw them in the spot. I'll see you when we get there. Okay, well, we're here. I'm gonna get the shovel down in the hole, the axe, pick, the lash down in there. I'll hop down this hole and I'll show you what we got going on here. I'm in my flip-flops, I know. But here's the site. We'll be digging here tomorrow. Show you what we found. I'll kind of show you the layers here. Here's we've removed a couple inches off this already. And then it's dirt, modern dirt. And you get down right here, you see the sand layer start. This is flat here. It's kind of hard to show on the camera, but this is flat. We've got this flat right out. There's a corner here, goes straight. This is a sand layer here, starts right here, and the stuff's right in here, right in this layer. This is where we're finding everything. So it's a good to reach the occupation layer, but still quite a bit of topsoil on top. Now I'm not gonna be able to show you tonight, but out back here is the original creek bank, and the creek has moved I'd say 150 yards from where we are now. So we got everything here at the site. I'm gonna get these lights shut off and head home. I'll take you with me on the long adventure, the long trip home. Oh, jeepers, I'm at my house already. Hold on, let me shut off the shop light. Oh, we gotta shut off the, gotta shut off the lights to the dig site. Alright, I'll be back in the morning. So, that's the site we're digging. It's at the end of my driveway and behind my shop and my garage. I'm not joking. This is my shop. This is my garage. That's where we're digging. We got an Archaic Site right in my house. I walk all over for years looking for arrowheads and points and whatever else I can find. And we just moved here. And right here, behind my house, we have an Archaic Site. Now hold on, let me turn the lights on. I'll tell you a little bit about the story now that I show you where it is. So how this all started was I have this area back here. I was going to clear it out and build a kiln here so that my kids and I could fire clay pots in a wood kiln, just a small one. Well, I had to dig a hole. So right there where you see that orange stuff coming out, right here, I dug Eric actually dug the hole on a Friday night. We were having a beer after he got home from work, and we dug a hole with a headlamp on and made a joke about finding something, and that was it. Well, the next day we came out, and I was out here, and my daughter came out and saw that we dug a hole and came over, and she had her clothes on, and she got on the little pile of dirt that we had dug up and picked up a rock, and I told her to get out of the dirt, and she gave it to me and told me it was an Indian artifact, and I laughed it off, and she kind of giggled, you know, and she handed it to me, and I took it from her, and I look at it, and I turned it over, and it was that broken axe head. So that little tiny hole that we dug there turned into an 8 by 8 foot hole. Today we took it out a couple more feet, so like this is maybe another 2 feet on this end and a little bit on this end. We haven't done this yet. We're saving all the stone, sifting all this dirt. This has all been, this huge pile here is all sifted through this sifter, and we've been washing the stone and going through all the rocks that we find, and taking our time, but we don't have to go far, because like I said, there's my house, there's my back of my house, and here's the dig site. So tomorrow we'll get out here, we're going to start recording us digging up stuff. When we find it, we'll put it on here, posting our finds, making videos of us digging, what we find back here. I'm sure our other adventures will get put on this channel as well. So share us, like us, subscribe. There will be more finds to come, and a lot more fun. Y'all have a good day.